In our series from the beginning of Ramadan, we're talking about modern issues related to family and marriage and separations and all this kind of things in relation to modern families in America. And some of the new issues and pressing issues that people raise in regard to marriage, especially when it comes to understanding the rulings. So today, it's maybe my last one or the one before the last, which is I want to explain Islamically, in Islam, how marriage can be terminated. Okay? A lot of people care for the rules when they start the marriage, but they don't care for the rules when they terminate the marriage, which is absolutely wrong. You know, marriage can be terminated by several ways. Obviously, the most clear one, when one of the spouses die. Okay? Death of the husband or the wife. And if the husband died, the wife, she has the iddah, and the iddah, if she's pregnant, until she deliver her baby. If she's not, it's 4 months and 10 days. Okay? She's not allowed to get married during that time. Iddah means waiting period. She's not allowed to get married, to get engaged. She's not even allowed to have a straightforward proposal. Somebody's straightforward proposal to her, can maybe an indication that somebody interested in her, but no, nothing straightforward, commitment. Type. The second thing is the termination of the marriage from the husband's side, and that's called divorce. When the husband divorces his wife, and the husband in Islam have 3 divorces. The first and the second, we call them talaq raj'i, revocable. You can return her back. And the third one, you cannot, irrevocable, you cannot take her back unless she marries someone, consummate the marriage, and they separate from each other through divorce or death. Well, then he can marry her again. And we call it revocable, yani raj'i, because he can take back his wife that he just divorced. See, in Islam, it's very different than Western way of defining things. So even when the person pronounced the divorce, she's still his wife until the iddah finish, until the waiting period finish. And he can take her back any given time during the iddah, even without her permission. Her permission is not a condition. Absolutely no two opinions about it, among the Muslim scholars. If he initiated the divorce, if he take her back, said, I take back my divorce verbally or 3 actions by having an intercourse, that will be sufficient to go back to each other. That's why we call it raj'i, because he have the power to take it back. Okay? So, after the third one, no, it cannot until she basically. But what if the iddah finished after the first or the second, the waiting period? He only can take her back with a new contract, with the permission, the wali, the whole entire 9 yards. Again, you have to go through it, mahar and all this kind of stuff. Type. During that waiting period, as was said, considered Islamically, is his wife. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran said, وَلَا تُخْرِجُهُنَّ بِيُوتِهِنَّ. You're not allowed to ask them to leave their homes. They're still in that period of time. لَعَلَّ اللَّهَ يُحْدِثُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ أَمْرًا. Might things change. And also, when a person divorces his wife, in order for this divorce to be correct, okay, to be correct, not to be sinful when you do it as a man, you have to meet the following condition. It has to be one time. You don't say, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. ما يجوز هذا. ده طالق بالثلاثة, haram, it's not allowed. You divorce one time, I divorce you. Okay? Number 2, that it has to be done in a time when she's not in her menses. You're not allowed to do it in her menses, here during her period. 3, since she finished her menses, to the moment of pronouncing the divorce, you never had an intercourse with each other. So, في طهر لم يجامعها فيه. If he did not follow these conditions, is this marriage, is this divorce valid or not? A debate. The vast overwhelming majority of the scholars said it's valid. Some minority said it's not valid, but everybody agreed it's haram. It's a sin on the person, must repent from it and should not be done. Type. Then after that, when a person divorces his wife, they must document, and sisters, Guys don't care about this, but you should care more even, because it affects you, sister, more than anybody else. Make sure that you document the divorce. You don't have witnesses in the time of pronouncing the divorce, but at least 2 witnesses to be informed about the divorce and reporting. You don't know how many people come to me every week, we divorced, I don't know how many times. What do you mean I don't know? It's not a game. It's a zina, straightforward. If she's not your wife, haram to live with her. What do you mean I don't know how many times? I don't know when he divorced me. You have to document this. And it has to be, Abu Hanifa even said talaq wajib to have witnesses, okay? So anyway, so you should document that as you document the marriage. So that's when it comes to, when a husband divorces his wife, all the financial rights of the wife are preserved, which is explained in one of the khawatir before. The other way of terminating the marriage is from the wife's side, and we call this khula. And al-khul', it means that she divorced the man. She said, I want to leave this man. Like take this marriage off. And what is the reason? What's the ground for that? The ground for that, simple. She doesn't want to be wife to him. Simple, period. I don't want to be married to you. He doesn't need to be horrible. He doesn't need to be abusive. He doesn't need to be fasiq. He doesn't need to be bad man. I don't want to be your wife anymore. Anytime. She said, I don't want, and she is 100% convinced that this marriage is not the right person for me. She can make the khul and she can leave him. Is it haram? No, it's not haram. A woman came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, this man, he's good and everything, but I can't look at his face. He was not attractive at all. And she was not at all have any connection with the man. And she's worried, she will not fulfill his rights. Then the Nabi ﷺ said, simple, give him his mahar back and divorce him. No complications. Nobody force you to live with him. You're the one who's going to lose. By doing that, you give him back. In this case, she lose the financials incentives that I mentioned earlier in my previous khatir about all the rights, the mut'ah and the whole entire things. Okay? A lot of people say, the Prophet ﷺ said, any woman asks for divorce, she will not smell the fragrance of Jannah. Yeah, this is in relation to a woman who wants to divorce her husband because she have a secret boyfriend. Or she wants to divorce her husband because she want to try another man, how it looks like to be another man. I married this time a tall guy, let me try the short guy. Let me try. She's basically, that's what she is. I want to just leave him so I can get some money out of it. That's what's absolutely haram. But it is a valid reason if she cannot feel herself to be in this marriage. But don't rush to this, because don't take that emotional, decision. If she makes khul' for him, is his permission needed or not? Does he has to agree on it or not? Debate between the scholars. I lean towards the opinion, no, his permission is not required, because she's the one who leaving him. And the Nabi ﷺ did not take a permission from the man when he said, do you agree? He said, no, just give him the hadiqah and that's it. Give him his mahar back and that's it. Can he ask for anything more than the mahar? Yes. Especially if it is something has to do with, you know what, I just bought you a car, I just bought you a house, and now you're telling me I want khul'? Give it back to me. Okay? I will not in this case, the judge who look at the case, or the Muslim arbitrator, has to force her to give him any extra of these things, that expenses that he lost, or loss is going to be clear on his side, to take it back, adding it to that mahar. The third one, when a separation between the husband and wife comes from a third entity. Not him, not her. And that third entity is a Muslim judge, or whoever represents the Muslim judge, the Muslim sultan. And that happened for several reasons. One, because the marriage is invalid. Like for example, I found out once somebody came to me, he married a sister who is already married to someone else. I immediately separated them from each other. because he married a married woman. She did not finish her iddah when he married her. So that's invalid. So you separate them. A third entity come and separate them. For example, she left Islam. You come and you separate them from each other's. Okay? So because one of the pillars of the marriage fall apart. Okay? Another one is when the person divorced the wife from her husband because of abuse. She's abused and she can't stay in this relationship. It's not fair to tell her go for khula because she loses all her financial rights and incentives. And also it's not fair to say stay. If there is an abuse in this case, that's why we say divorce, a case like this, it's mas'ala qada'iyya. The person will look at it. If he found that there is a real abuse between them, and there is real abuse and proven to be abuse, he divorced her from him. Or absence. Somebody just left the country. Or went absent. Many cases like this. طيب, month, 2, 3, يا ابن الحلال رد علي السلام عليكم, can you answer me? No. طيب, you are living, you are mashallah, in the Maldives, يعني staying there, having your fun time, and this lady here, I don't care. I'm not going to divorce, I'm going to أعلمها الأدب. I'm going to teach her lessons. لا, أنت اللي تتعلم الأدب in this case. You're the one who need to taught a good manner. He said, I'm not gonna, it's the opposite. In this case, when you see somebody like this, you divorce her from him without his permission. يسمونه الفقهاء تطليق على الزوج, that you divorce over the husband's permission. But only in the case, and don't, please, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. It's not allowed to go to someone who I know people, and I'm not gonna name, but I know people, tell you, pay $1,000, I will divorce you from your husband. That's haram, that's not right. It has to be a case where a trusted, worthy scholars who will be not biased to men and women or biased to your case. No, we'll look at it in a very balanced way with evidence. So many times sisters come and say, I'm abused. I cannot believe them, but I cannot take her words because she doesn't have evidence. And I cannot guarantee her that because she needs an evidence. It's like any judge. You have to prove the case of abuse. Otherwise, it has to be solved in another way. But that's one of the third way of terminating the marriage between the husband and wife. But what if the wife abused the husband? What if she abused the husband? She is cheated on him, for example. He found her cheating. Or she, for example, abusing him and his family, disrespectful, nashes, and stuff like that. In this case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in the religion, it is allowed to ضَارُّهُنْ, yani you will make it hard for her, so she will ask for khula. You say, you know what, ibn al-halal, okay, I'm going to go with the absolutely minimum, bare minimum. What's the absolute bare minimum? Which is, life cannot go by the absolute bare minimum. So she knows at this point that she has to choose that. But you cannot use that if she's a good woman. Only if she's a true abusive woman, or a woman who is cheating on you and things like that. Otherwise, just divorce her and have the high level. And in this case, a woman will not deserve the extra financial compensation like al-mut'ah. جاء رجل للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال إن امرأتي لا ترد يد لامس. I have a wife, she flirts with guys. When a guy tells, she doesn't mind. She flirts with guys. What I do? قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم طلقها. He didn't say any other. He said, just divorce her. قال لكني أحبها. الحب عجيب. He said, but I love her. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم remained silent. He advised her, and that's it. She doesn't commit zina, ulama rahimahullah said. And some ulama said, talk about this hadith from its authenticity, even though a lot of recognize the sahih. But she just liked to flirt with guys. That's what it was. Evil, bad things. So in the case like this, he just divorce her and get rid of that. Woman. She's not, or woman use bad language to your mom, to your family. She's bad to the kids, bad influence. She's, and you can't help her. She's not willing to help herself. Khalas, alhamdulillah, just divorce and go. Sometimes you take the high ground. So that's how in Islam a marriage terminated. Okay? If the case, this case, when I go to a court, to civil court and divorce my wife, is that considered Islamically a legal divorce? It depends. If the husband willingly divorce her in the court and he signed and he intend to divorce her, it counts as a divorce. But let me tell you something. American court system is not based on you divorce your wife. In America, you don't have the right to divorce your wife. In America, she doesn't have the right to divorce you. The only one has the right to divorce you from your wife is the judge. Not you, not her. It's the judge who issued the divorce. So it's not you. And I always, when I go speak to lawyers and people like in the legal system, I said, Islam is so beautiful. It's here taking that power from you, actually. It's given to the judge. That's why there is some cases in court, the judge said, I'm not going to divorce you guys. Go fix it. And I had a case once with people stay for about 8, 9, 10 months, 1 year, 2 years. And the judge refused to divorce them from each other. And he can't legally until he will let it go in the end. Usually it is because of that dispute. So here we go, we say that if the judge divorced her from you, that's Islamically not considered a divorce. But it's a very valid ground for an Islamic divorce to be granted. Why? Because life is impossible in this case between them. It reached to a breaking point. They cannot live together. And when we see that the life is impossible, we try to talk to the husband, talk him out, make a deal between them, make it financially less, painful for him, and, just divorce each other. But if now the arbitrator or the Muslim judge will come in this case and will enforce the divorce the point is you cannot leave this man hanging and you cannot leave this woman hanging. And as a general advice, when things reach that level, leave it. Remember what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِمْسَاكٌ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ تَسْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ. Allah asks us to hold into the marriage with goodness, and when you separate, with excellency. Not with goodness, with excellency. قال وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Don't forget the good things between you. It hurts when many people tell me, why the kuffar Shaykh better than us? I don't think they are better enough as divorce. There's a lot of nasty divorce because you're outside, you're not inside their circle, so you don't see. From outside, you just see some example, maybe in TV, hi, Madresh, or some example that you know, but I don't know. I have no statistic really to make that statement or to prove this statement. But definitely, there is a lot in Western culture, this concept, when they get divorced, they still can communicate and be friendly and respectful to each other and, cooperate in parenting and stuff like that. I think that culture, many people don't have it overseas. For them, divorce is just in al-qadiyah, the end of the world. And there's all this stigma associated with divorce. Maybe this is another talk. But this is in short how marriage is dissolved in Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all your marriages. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you all sa'ada and all happiness in this blessed night. But education is good. It's to be educated about these things. It's important for you at least to know your rights. Part of knowing what your rights are. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.